So this weekend, I'm building my new home recording studio. Just moved to sunny Florida and decided to build my own acoustic sound treatments. So I made a couple of trips to the store, Home Depot and Joann's, picked up some items, and I'm about to get started. So come check it out. I'll show you what I got and show you how I'm putting it together. Alright, so here is a view of some of the things that I purchased. The only thing that I had to pre-order is actually the most important, and that is the insulation that you'll use for the inside of the panels. So you can either use fiberglass, or in this case I'm using what's called rock wool or stone wool. And the stone wool I like better because the fiberglass can be a little bit itchy, and they both do the same thing. So these are 4-foot by 2-foot panels. This comes with a package of 8 of them, and the cost was $50, or actually it was $49.66. I ordered it from Lowe's online. They don't tend to sell these in the store, so you have to order this. It took about a week for delivery, so I ordered that, and it just came. So I immediately then went to Home Depot and got some of this other stuff. So here's the wood. These are, let's see, 1-inch by 3-inch by 8-foot boards. I think the 8-foot board cost about $1 and change, maybe $1.15 or so, and I got 12 of those. I cut the 12 boards into 16 of the 4-foot boards and 16 of the 2-foot boards. Let's see, next up we've got some wooden screws, we've got some wood glue and some power grab glue. Not quite sure if I'll use those yet, but I got them just in case. Some gloves, because even though the rock wool isn't as itchy as the fiberglass, you still want to handle these with some gloves. And I've got a staple gun that I got for about 20 bucks. And then I also picked up some staples. So these are the 1/2-inch staples, which I'll use for the wood. And these are the 5 by 16 staples that I'll use for the fabric. Here I've got the 18-gauge wire, which I will use to hang these panels just like you hang a regular standard picture frame. The 18-gauge is good to hang up about 55 pounds. A rule of thumb is you want the gauge of wire to be able to hold at least twice the weight of the panels. So these panels are going to be about 10 pounds or so. This holds 55 pounds, so I'm more than covered. They also sell 24-gauge, which holds maybe 35 pounds, 16-gauge, which probably holds about 65 pounds or so. So again, I got the 18 just to be safe. These are felt pads, and the reason I got this is for 2 things. One is, I don't want the wood panels basically touching my wall, so I got these just to allow some cushion between the boards and the walls. And the second reason is because in acoustic panels, you want air behind the panel. So you want the sound to go through the panel, it gets absorbed, it hits air, it gets trapped, tries to come out of the panel, and basically gets absorbed again. So if your panel is right on the wall, it tends to bounce off the wall and can potentially come back through the panel, whereas if you have some air, it tends to get trapped. So these felts are not going to provide a whole lot of air, but at least it's better than nothing. But if you have a larger room and can afford to put 2 inches to 4 inches of space behind your panels, that's going to be the best situation. And these are some brackets for the panels. So I've got 8 of these, 1 for each of the panels. And then I went to the fabric store and I've got 2 fabrics. One is the front facing, and this is a linen, and you can see there the quality of the linen. Most people will use burlap and or some other type of fabric where air can get through. Essentially, if air can get through, that means sound can get through, and that's what you want. You want the sound to go right through this fabric and get absorbed by your rock wool or your fiberglass. So air goes through linen pretty good, so I got the linen, plus it matches my room. And some people use the speaker fabric. They also sell that in Joann's, but that only comes in black, and I wanted this nice linen color. And then for the back fabric, I've got muslin. It's spelled M-U-S-L-I-N. This is about $1.99 per yard. I've got 10 yards to cover the 8 boards. And I'm sorry, I didn't mention how much this was. So The linen was $9.99 per yard, but I'll give you a little tip. If you have an iPhone or Android, you can download Joann's app, and sometimes they have good sales in there. I happened to get a coupon in my iPhone for 50% off, so these were $9.99, and I got it for about, well, half price is what I got it for. So I got 10 yards of that. And so there you go. So altogether, this all came up to about $200, and essentially that comes out to about $25 per board. So if you try to buy acoustic treatments, 4 foot by 2 foot, 8 panels of treatments, you probably would spend upwards of about $500. So you do it yourself, you can spend $200 and have the satisfaction that you did it yourself, and you can choose whatever fabrics you want. Now I chose the linen, which is $9.99. You could have just as easily had gotten the burlap, which is about $3.99, or other fabrics which are less expensive. So, all right, well, those are the materials, and now I'm going to get started. What I'm going to do is cut all of the fabric to the right size, and then iron the linen just to get that hard crease out of it. Right, let's put the boards together. All right, so there you see I added some glue in between, just a couple of staples to hold it, and I did that all the way around on the 4 corners. And now what I'm going to do is take the drill, and I've got this, let's see there we go, this bit, and I'm going to drill the hole right through the wood, and that's going to make it easier for me to then put the screw right through, and so that's going to really seal it. And so I got my drill here. I'm going to go and do that right now. All right, you can see that the screw is in there pretty tight. I did that on all 4 sides, and that just makes it very secure. You can see how the screw goes into the wood so that it does not come out of the fabric. So it's nice and pressed in there. You got some excess glue there, you can just wipe that off. There you go. So the glue is going to keep it nice and secure. All right, so now I'm going to go ahead and put in a couple of the braces on the inside. So I'll use these guys right here. And instead of all 4, I'm just going to go ahead and put in 2. So I need to drill those and then put in the screws. Here we go. Okay, just added the back fabric, and so it's pulled nice and tightly, and so you can see very taut, very tight. And now we're going to take that, flip it over, and place one of these panels inside. And once we do that, then we will go ahead and add the linen. So as you can see, I try to make these folds as tight as possible and make sure that it's neat and taut all the way around. Okay, we're almost done with this panel, and the last piece is to add the 18 gauge wire so we can hang this like a picture frame. Okay, so I'll measure off 6 inches from the top of the board. I'll use the drill to drill the holes and put in the screws, and then I'll use the 18 gauge wire to run across, and let's do it. There's the wire, and you screw this in so that it holds the wire, but don't screw it in too tight. You don't want to snap the wire. And this is nice and taut, and now it's ready for hanging.